this video. This is the Glow Theory podcast. I'm your host, J. Marie, and in today's episode, we will be talking about who you were before the world told you to shrink. So this episode specifically is inspired from certain situations of Black women facing racism and being so discriminated against between all the races, and just Black women being at the bottom of the barrel, I guess. So I guess this video is just like a reminder, and it's a letting you know who the fuck you are, and that your skin color, your skin tone, your skin shade doesn't define what type of love you deserve or what type of life you get to live. So if you are new, please stick around, check out the video. If this is something that you like or enjoy, stick around, like, subscribe, whatever it is. Let's get into it. So I'm going to talk about 4 bullet points, 4 topic points with different layers within those points that I understand, that are my perspectives and my perceptions of things. So I hope this will be relatable and understandable. So number 1. So what I wrote down for number 1, the conditioning starts early. As Black girls, I feel like many of us were told or taught and brought up to be this strong and put together and quiet person who is respectful, who has to just be tough, because a lot of these environments have our mothers or their mothers' mothers who were raised to be exactly like us. So they don't know anything better or anything other than that. They don't understand the concept of your daughter just being a child, more so as like a display, you know? It's like they represent an extension of us, so therefore they need to be put together. They need to look good. We don't want people gossiping or talking about them or putting any of us to shame kind of energy. And obviously this conditioning is also because a lot of Black women and mothers through the lines, through the centuries, were put in positions where they had to be strong and tough one in the family, to raising the children by themselves and taking care of this, taking care of that. And it's like there was no lending hand. And I feel like a lot of single mothers, especially single Black mothers, they had to work extra hard, 10 times harder to keep everything in line. So I guess that toughness can come from that, just being overly independent, not relying on nobody because you couldn't, because around you there was no one to offer support. And then living in a society where Black women are taught to or forced to hold their tongues, because if they speak up, they are loud, they are obnoxious, they are ghetto, they are this, they are that, they are whatever the world likes to project onto Black women. Society teaches Black women to apologize or be the ones who are sorry for taking up space and shrinking their power to be accepted. And it's unfortunate that the world, that society took a sad narrative of Black women and put that out as a stereotype. That narrative being coming from pain, coming from abandonment, coming from loss, coming from betrayal, coming from all these years of pain and having to deal with that pain and that trauma. And when you go through so much shit in your life and you don't know how to deal with it, you can obviously become this angry, resentful person who is not emotionally mature, doesn't know how to have emotional conversations, does not know how to soften up, because quite literally your inner child is protecting. That inner child is protecting them. So this ugly narrative pushed onto Black women and shaping them to be this angry, almost incompetent, and just kind of like, bottom of the barrel kind of energy. It's a narrative that comes from pain. Years and years and years and years and years of pain. That pain traveled from the ancestors. But it's like, at what point will society let up? I guess it's not up to them. I guess that is up to us. because we are no longer our ancestors. We're not sitting in silence. We're not shrinking ourselves no more. If the world wants to hate on black women who are the blueprint, who carry the Eve's gene, anyways, if society wants to hate on black women, we'll stand 10 toes down away from that. Like, please, because we're not shrinking no more. No, absolutely not. And honestly, it's kind of unfortunate seeing that so many black men too, like it's our own community of men who don't even support us because they're siding with society because they're not at the bottom. So therefore it's like, okay, cool, I'm good over here, but y'all, good luck, you know? I definitely was taught growing up to hold my tongue and not speak up for myself and shrink myself in environments and situations and not speak freely, and stepping into the person that I actually am of just speaking freely and not caring and just being very, very, very blunt because I don't care. It's nothing but freeing. Obviously, it may come with nasty looks or judgment from other races that I just could care less. I couldn't care less, actually. It's because I'm a human being too. I'm a human being. My skin color is just black. My skin color is just not the light ones. I stopped being ashamed of taking up space. I stopped being ashamed of my skin tone and stopped being ashamed of shrinking myself in environments, because I'm made the way I am for a reason, and I have nothing to do but honor that and respect that and take up space and roam around this planet because I have the fucking right to. Roam around this planet being authentically me and embracing my skin tone and who I am and speaking up when I fucking want to, because it's free will. So I'm gonna move on to number 2, how we begin to shrink. So where does the shrinking start from? And I kind of was talking about, you know, early on in childhood and mother, father, whatever it was, kind of projecting those fears and those issues onto you and making you have to shrink too, so that, you know, they don't fall into that embarrassment or shame kind of experience. But yes, starting in like classrooms, relationships, jobs, we start molding ourselves into survival mode. Like we're molding ourselves based on perceptions that are not true to us, that are not authentic, therefore leading us to silence ourselves, to not receive judgment, to avoid criticism, to avoid all that extra hate, to avoid that stereotype, because we want to be perceived as just regular human beings. So yeah, silencing ourselves to avoid all these horrendous labels that are placed upon black women. And it's just like, no, I'm like kind of done. I'm kind of over that. That's so like 1800s. I don't know about y'all, like it's like fuck the labels, fuck the words, fuck what people gotta say about black women and they're this and they're that. Okay, oh well, you said your piece. All right, like what the fuck are those words gonna do? Because at the end of the day, as long as I'm being me, I'm being authentic, I'm embracing my skin tone, my skin color, I'm just being me, I'm just being a human being. And if people have a problem with that because of my skin tone, that is between them and God and karma. That ain't my shit to worry about. See, because your power and you being too much was never the fucking issue. You just being yourself was never the fucking issue. It is society. It is society. We all move as a collective consciousness, and when one thing is spewed out into the world, the conscious collective has to believe it for it to be true, for it to grow more power over the mind. And so obviously for years and years and years pushing out these terrible narratives and labels about black women and pushing it out for more and more people to take in that information and be like, yeah, and agreeing with that and siding with that. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And to a point, it's like, what are we hating on Black women for? What are we fighting them for? What are we pushing on these terrible narratives onto them for? You know, and it's like, I've had so many experiences and different terrible encounters with other races for sure, but I'm not going around saying that they are this stereotype. So I guess just be you, being you being a Black woman in society. Don't ever feel embarrassed or ashamed or none of that shit, because you came out onto this world, you came onto this planet as this select character for a motherfucking reason. So embrace that fully. Embrace that, take charge of that, stand in that power. Don't let the world try and shrink you or label you as this. And so what if they do? Be so grounded and so completely infatuated with you and your skin tone that those words just ping right off and sent right back to that sender. So number 3, so what's the truth? Your original self was divine. So obviously we know who the blueprints are, who carries the Eve gene. Before all the trauma, all the pain, all the disruption within generations of Black people, they're just nothing but divine beings, just divine, pure light. And obviously we all still have all of that beautiful energy within inside of themselves, but specifically for Black women, like, if you know that version of you still exists inside of you. You know you are a goddess. Tap into that energy, claim that energy, and be absolutely proud of it. Not shameful, not regretful, not any of this, because the society's perception of you does not matter. Let the whole world be against you because you stand 10 toes down in who you are, in your authenticity, comfortable in your skin. That's nothing but power. That's nothing but energy. And getting back in touch with that beautiful energy and that goddess energy is loving yourself again, loving your skin color again, embracing your heritage, embracing where you're from, embracing your culture, embracing your ancestors, because we're not shrinking ourselves no more. We're not going to be shut down because society wants to label Black women as bottom of the pit. And you know what? Let them. Honestly, it gives celebrity, like having the whole world obsessed with you because of your skin tone. Like, I'm just, so have that kind of energy, because fuck the world, honestly. Who cares? Let them hate. And lastly, number 4 is beginning to heal and expand yourself. So obviously that kind of ties in with 3 and 4. Figuring out, like, when you want to start this healing journey of loving your skin tone again and being a Black woman, you can start by journaling and asking yourself questions. What parts of me have felt silenced to feel safe? You can also ask questions like, why do I feel this shame? Why do I feel this guilt? Where did this come from? And pinpointing from which parent or which relative or how society has pushed you into this corner. And it's like, ask yourself questions. Why do I care what they think? Why do I care what the world thinks? Because you know what? Racism and racism against Black women, it just gives like, the connection between like the sibling vibes, where it's the older sibling and the annoying little brother. That's what that gives when I encounter racism. That's what it kind of feels like to me. I don't know if that's just the kind of vibe. I kind of look at it that way. I don't look at it as, the disgusting, evil, disgusting energy that is planted in their spirits and will literally eat away at them. I don't look at it like that anymore. I just look at it as like, oh, you annoying, gross, bye, move on with my day. Growing up in a predominantly white area was definitely tricky because I knew people made fun of me for my skin color and called me, you know, the N-word and comparing me to animals and stuff like that. Even in relationships, even in connections with people, just making fun of my skin tone, you know, and it really was hard growing up in a very white place. I didn't choose to live there. I was in fucking foster care, so I had to just be there. But it was also really odd being in a very white household because I was literally the only foster kid for a long time who was Black, and it almost felt like a fetish, I guess. Like I was just kind of paraded around. It's like, oh look, we the white family have taken on this Black child to raise. And you know, that's kind of the energy it gives, like kind of just like showboating, you know, like look at us, you know. And also they were Mormon too, so it just was extra weird. And you know, growing up being bullied for my skin tone, harassed for it, and it really put me in a corner for a long time. It really shrunk me growing up. And this version of me now, oh my God, I truly honor and love being a Black woman. I am nothing but completely infatuated with being a Black woman. I appreciate being a Black woman because it is fucking tough, it is fucking hard, but I love it. We give off this beautiful, radiant goddess energy with inside of us. And I'm motherfucking proud of that. I'm proud to be Black. I'm proud to be a Black woman in this hurtful, disgusting society. It's unfortunate that we have developed and curated this society with the idea that Black women are such horrendous creatures to roam this planet, and portraying them to be something that is not entirely true, but truly just pushing on this narrative and this stereotype, and which came from, like I said, pain and trauma and generations of trauma, and not bringing any type of healing or peace or comfort for them, and not being a safe place, being a safe haven. And it's just truly disgusting how this world operates. But why would people hate on something so deeply if there was nothing powerful about them, if there was nothing special about them? If you know, you know. Hopefully we'll see some change. For those who are spiritually inclined might understand what I mean by that. But yeah, going on to end this video, or starting to close out this video, I just want to remind Black women, like, you're not too much, you're not ghetto, you're not this, you're not all these crazy narratives that are spewed on to Black women. You don't have to be any of those, and you don't have to claim any of those, and you don't have to associate with any of those, and you don't have to shrink to any of that or succumb to any of that shit. You know, stand in your power, be proud of who the fuck you are, and don't let anyone try and take that away from you. Don't let anyone try and shrink you. Because I know a lot of people really get out of hand and try. They really try. They really try, because some of that hate comes from jealousy or insecurity of their own issues or projection, or just spewing on this mean, evil, disgusting, evil spirit that is just, you know, like, we don't associate with that. Let them rot within their own souls and their own vessels, and we'll leave that to the universe. Regardless, you stand tall. Be proud of who you are. Empower other Black women to be proud of who they are, and be proud of their skin color, and embrace it and honor it, you know, because we're not our ancestors anymore. We're not shrinking anymore. That is not who we are. Fuck no. Like, absolutely not. And fuck anyone who wants to try and shrink other Black women down. Dirty. So yeah, To all my beautiful Black women, you are still allowed to be soft and sensual and a pretty female. You don't need to be this loud, crazy, whatever projection people want to place on Black women, okay? You still get to be that girl, okay? Empower her, bring her back to life. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope this was something that was empowering and something that you can look back on and be like, I need this reassurance for today. Play it 100 times. Benefits you and me. But yeah, we embrace being Black. We embrace being a Black woman, and that will never change. That is something that will never change for me. That is something that I try my best to preach anywhere I go, anytime I see Black women or young Black women, just being proud. Alrighty, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all, or some, whatever it is, in the next video. Please like, please comment. Hope to see you guys in the next video.